you know nothing. 3D Max has got this. Well, let's find out if you're correct. Harry and Hugo are taking us into Dust 2.
Yes, that's right. MOUZ versus 3D Max. First set of BO3 for these squads in an elimination match, in an elimination stage. For MOUZ, this would feel unacceptable after the playoff run they achieved back in Copenhagen, the history that this team have at majors, on stages as well. And what was supposed to be the gradual improvement you've seen from the MOUZ squad at dealing with this sort of pressure. For 3D Max, it's the highest height they've achieved. Someone like Lucky, that dream that started all those years ago of getting back to majors with a French squad around him, finally locked in, but maybe brought to an abrupt close. It's 3D Max's map pick up first. T-side start as well as MOUZ try to come through with mid-aggression. Joko is ready for it. Swings out for a double. And so this pistol round is off to a rip-roaring start for 3D Max.
It's an insane read and now turning into a fake. And they're falling for it. Maka's hit a headshot on the A site. I think at this point, Jimpat realizes what's going on, but it's too late for this round. Maka and Joko piece it together with a full house for 3D Max. Crazy pistol call. Bomb outside B. And it's one thing to fake long, it's another to be holding T-spawn like that, knowing MOUZ would come in confident and come in swinging. Joko puts him down. 3D Max starts strong. They said they were going to smash him. Well, that's not a bad start.
Yeah, a pistol round where you take 1 HP's worth of damage is certainly not a bad way to open.
I still have high expectations for MOUZ today. I like the way the desk framed it, even though MOUZ are in that 1-2 bracket. They've had really hard games. They played a FaZe who pulled back a mighty match. They played a Mongols who fought them in overtime, and we've seen go 3-0. This is after MOUZ took down Na'Vi 2-1 in the RMR. So they've, while proving themselves back there at the major, it's been a very different story. This is where MOUZ still need to prove that they can be and that they are a championship level team and take down an underdog to fight for that final day of the major elimination stage.
I think something that's going to be interesting here as well is 3D Max play a very explosive style, and MOUZ going to be able to contain that. Even thinking back to those RMRs where we saw 3D Max battle up against G2 in a best of 3, that series felt like it had everything, all the twists and turns, all the miles on it, and some very explosive pieces from 3D Max.
G2 got their revenge just yesterday. So 3D Max are out for blood. Walking through this mid-smoke, there's a bit of a gap. Torshi can see. Second flash was actually perfect, but Torshi takes it full blind. Plan A has gone nowhere, so how about plan B? They're going to try breakthrough.
Oh, Torshi finally bested. Lucky's opened up the B site. Impact not often the one to fall short in positions like that, is bested in the head-to-head. And suddenly, after Torshi's 3K in middle, MOUZ thought this round was over. They thought there was no world that 3D Max could pick it up. But they find the trades. They get themselves into B. They've got a bomb plant now to work with. Low HP on both players.
Oh, big molly. Stalled that for some time. Smoke in the tunnels. MOUZ have a couple of flashbangs, but they're still going to need to move quick.
MOUZ can't afford to let this one get away. Oh, Lucky might not give them a choice. Clean tap, and another follow-up from Lucky. But that's all skill. Cleanly done from the back of B. And Lucky carves a path for 3D Max. 2v5 or 2v4?
Yeah, that's a crazy ending. It's even the opener that looks spectacular for 3D Max. When they get destroyed in middle, they still find smoke shots in response, pull back a late B hit. And Lucky...
You can't believe the first rifle round goes like that. Torshi, 3K in CT. They get it down to a 4v2. Lucky with the opener into B and the 2 shots to close. The bookend of 3D Max.
Yeah, it's been 5 years since we've seen him at majors. He made a couple with G2, made the elimination stage. Rest of his team absent. We know that French CS scene has A proclivity to make quick roster changes. Cut now, think later. But this 3D Max team has been together for some time, and right now the results are showing. This roster bearing fruit. And trying to brace MOUZ with an upset here to stay alive in Shanghai. Don't know this one. Wow. No way, he burns Jimpat off the top.
They got tricks. Another clean round looking to get stacked up here for 3D Max.
That really is a crazy Molotov. And they do it on anti-eco as well. They just XXB with one smoke, one molly, and a really well-placed flash, knowing that if we're against pistols, best position is car. 3D Max burn it out. 4-0, 5 alive. Here's the rifle round for MOUZ. They can't wait forever.
This has just been worryingly clean to open up. Outside of that 3K from Torshi and the spawn, there's been no resistance yet from MOUZ.
Torshi's AWP is out though, and we don't have Maka in the same vein. And Torshi has been a reliable piece of this MOUZ team as of late.
Boost up, spots over the smoke, and Maka plucked out of the round. Exercise spots the man in a car, but once more it's that Torshi AWP now, firing off for a multi-kill. Last time this wasn't enough. This time it has to be. MOUZ can't let back-to-back advantages go against them. They've got the bomb trapped in on Gravity over here at long. Keen kill for Exertion to get away with, and he even manages to escape capture from these two players up in the A site, dropping down in a pit. This is a powerful position to play around this bomb, and MOUZ all in the control. There's no flash here for 3D Max. Trying to lob that smoke through. Is Joker gonna just try and steal the bomb right out from underneath them? He's waited for the nade on the smoke, but this one in front of him is going to start fading, and there's the spam connecting out of Brolin.
Yeah, predictable position there. Not much he can do if Brolin shoots through it. And lucky 40 seconds he has, or at least had a chance, but now MOUZ fully set up. He throws the AWP out. Torshi's weapon of choice gone early in the game. 3D Max on their last player, on their most reliable old head of the team. 20 seconds. And MOUZ are stacked up. Unlosable setup. Exertion ready to peak late. He's even trying to get that spot. Like, it gets closer, and Exertion closes. So MOUZ, thank goodness they win the round when you consider how Torshi gets really hung out to dry by Exertion on long, but he pieces it together. Brolin with a nice spam. MOUZ are in the game early enough.
Maka now gets to don that AWP. They were suffering from success in that round prior, right? Running a bit of a bonus with Mac 10 still in play. Exertion trying to be aggressive over here towards long. Exercise is holding for it, and Exertion even showing face here is just going to force Exercise to have to hang around. 3D Max have been able to take Catwalk away in the meantime, however. And Joko's moving in looking for an opening. It's no util, no flashes to telegraph this hit. They try to run it dry, but they've lost gravity, and Joko is soon to follow. It gave them a lot of space. They certainly had the element of surprise, but when those first shots don't connect, you're out on a limb, and there's util raining over from the CTs. Just down to 3 now for 3D Max as Exertion and Torshi hold the line.
A very difficult round now. They have only one smoke, and it might be lost in middle. Brolin fighting wide through the door. And Maka is going to be giving Torshi an AWP here if he doesn't get out of here soon. This is a disastrous round for 3D Max. I actually like the call. They have no AWP on MOUZ, so 3D Max could have scaled, but they only used 2 players to swing up Catwalk, and with no ramp molly, with no real pressure on Torshi, he's able to pick his fights and play with Shui. 2 on 5 now. 3D Max are saving if they're allowed. And MOUZ really should just look to contain their own money at this point in the game. A 5 alive round would go a long way, so respect is given. And MOUZ are back on the board.
Counter-terrorists win.
I mean, that's a good sign for MOUZ, right? Being able to best that one cleanly. That's 3D Max trying to get cheeky with it. Like we say, a very explosive team. They run it out through Catwalk. And they certainly did get the drop on MOUZ, but just couldn't find that first incision, that first kill to bring you into the site.
I feel like as soon as 3D Max hit one of those cross shots, and they probably will in the half, they're just going to explode B. Feels like that kind of team right now. Losing long control exercise. And 3D Max take up Cat. Again, just Torshi, but it was enough last time.
And it's contact out Catwalk again. Torshi's mollied this. Joko knows he has a good timing.
Oh.
Deals with Torshi over at ramp. This time that opener is found. And look at the space that's created for 3D Max. Lucky cuts down both B rotators in the meantime. Shui and Lucky meet up in the smoke. They pass by each other, but Exercise gonna catch him on the other side. You have B, you know Exertion's long. They're gonna go looking for Exertion. They're hunting him here all across the map. Nowhere is safe for Exertion in this save. They pushed up top middle. They're wrapping through T-spawn. Exertion's found a tiny safety net here down in Suicide, but for the time being, he's alive. However, they're starting to piece this one together. Exercise moving around the spawn should check this. Exertion's trying to steal himself away.
He knew he was trapped. He didn't even try to fight. He thought that was just bait steps for a top mid player, but 3D Max, they had him. Even if he got away with a kill, he's getting traded. And man, 3D Max playing confident right now to go for that contact play after it just failed, thinking, I know what we're doing. I know they don't have orb. Let's abuse this while we still can. Walk up into Gandalf, find that headshot to Torshi, and the round just peters out as a result. Lucky gets 2 kills fighting middle. 3D Max on all fronts finding success. If I'm MOUZ, I'm getting worried right now. It's only Dust 2, the opener of the series, in a game that screams 3 maps. But 3D Max showing a great face right now. Showing all the makings of an upset series. Torshi's orb appears finally. First time since it was thrown out of the map, and Maka's waiting. Torshi won't overdo it. But that smoke suddenly gives him a bit of freedom to fight top middle. Good awareness there could be an orb. That flashes for exactly that. Regrouping B, Brolin and Jimpat on that bomb site.
One side of these corridor smokes dropped in over in middle. Yeah, they're going to assemble both of them now. This is good. It cuts off the info from the B site players. They have to kind of move down. You can see that Brolin's doing that right now, pushed up close to the smoke in mid. But it just divides this double B setup, and it means that these A players are going to struggle to have much say in how this round plays out. Brolin, just the first. Spam connects out of Exertion. He's done a lot of damage. And Jimpat might have fallen down here. The last time we saw 3D Max attempt this, but this time is solid as a rock for MOUZ. Great awareness. He was getting walked on out through the tunnels.
Yeah, mid-to-Bs, you know, a lot of teams try and abuse them, but they often turn out like this with smoke spam, or more commonly, nades left in CT spawn just to pop those smokes open. Brolin with a nice play as well to throw some chaos into that round and gets a lot of info on numbers out middle. Nice anchor work for Jim Patton. 3D Max back to pistols.
Oh, Exertion getting aggressive in this round versus the pistols. Oh God, he's tagged in the molly. And look at 3D Max, they were really hoping he committed to that. Instead, just going to drop another smoke in. Joko can't find another opening just walking out catwalk, surely.
Try him.
Torshi Zorp is there this time around. Lying in wait as the Deagle tries to make its move. Missed shot from Torshi. And he falls back. Doesn't want to hang around and fight this. Doesn't want to risk giving that AWP away. That's a bomb plant locked in here. Can it get any sweeter? Can 3D Max get away with anything more? Joko throwing himself into these fights, but eventually it's too much. And Exertion, unlike Torshi, does not wait around before getting involved. He makes the play to mop up these pistols.
He's full blind, just running in there, scaling. Can't see a thing, but just getting the space for MOUZ. That's what we know Exertion for, even on both sides. 5 alive round. MOUZ suddenly kicking up dust in 3D Max's face as they get ready to take the lead. 3D Max, a full buy to stop that. And a very competitive beginning to this game. The first time this game has ever played between these two rosters. Ooh, this is getting messy. The flashes in mid, yeah, they call it off. They were going for the Xbox boost with the orb, trying to catch Maka in top mid. You know you're going to get that fight if you're MOUZ. Question is, do you want to take it? Not with that kind of assistive utility from 3D Max. Tempering any aggression.
Is that Joko faking the Molotov, Paul?
I was.
Because he did bait out the Incendiary, and now his molly was meant to be that much more effective. Oh, Gravity's missed the jump.
Forget it.
An error you can't afford to make here, Shui. Easy pickings onto the double kill over on short. Oh, that's rough for Gravity. Now, even though there are some experienced pieces in 3D Max, most notably Lucky, of course, Gravity is kind of the polar opposite. Playing his first proper lands with this 3D Max squad earlier this year. That's a double wall that waterfalls down and blocks off the angle into CT. But they're still getting wrapped in through top middle. Exertion's going to be hot on the heels, and yeah, deals with Exercise. Double up on the backstab. It's just Maka left up against it. Bomb out in no man's land, and Torshi Zorp in prime position to shut him down.
All right, MOUZ have warmed up, that's for sure. Get the confidence to make some plays, push long, a very dangerous move for Exertion, but he finds that perfect timing, and Torshi Zorp has been hitting ever since it came out. So the game plan for 3D Max to mid to B and abuse this position has currently not worked. They've actually been iced out almost every single time they've gone there, with the exception of that 1-2v4 in the first gun round. So avoiding Torshi's orb proving to be a difficult move after all. And this is where MOUZ should absolutely take the cake here on the half. Got pistols out. 3D Max playing for 6-all. These rounds are winnable though, especially with the setup looking like a fake on this B bomb side, but they might just go back to it later in the round after they force some util out. Look at MOUZ panicking. 3 players starting there. Torshi's orb helping, but he's going to get overwhelmed in middle. No way he gets out alive. Surely not. 2 kills. Exercise there in time. Good flash pushes Brolin back, and the pressure on the B bomb side could come in handy right now.
Gonna flash through the corridor smokes, but they don't react while Brolin's blind to that flashbang.
Oh, right.
Won't come to Maka. Another back from Exercise. Orb now retrieved, gonna juggle that across to Maka as Exercise arms his team.
Oh dear, it's all Jimmy right now.
Boost up for Exertion! Double kill, and Jimmy, full faith in that boost down in the spawn. Only his tunnels left to worry about. MOUZ have well and truly recovered this first half from 5-2 to the favor of 3D Max. They've now gone on a 4-round streak down the stretch.
I really would have liked to see 3D Max reset there and go back to the B hit. I guess going for the guns was so tempting. After they got them, they're pretty committed. They think they're close, but those smokes would have faded if they're walking the whole way, let alone the boost. 3D Max, it almost feels predictable now that they're not going to pop these corridor smokes and do more of that, as MOUZ have shut it down there every single time. Double upper, not much util. They could throw the smokes and just play in upper tunnels. But look at this setup. MOUZ playing very dangerous. Jipat forces the kill. Here's a flash go out. He's got the cover of the orb. Just bails. They go mid to B again.
Brolin on that secondary orb though. Right place, right time. Torshi's orb also gets involved. They don't know about gravity. Oh, he's going to try and find the gap. Sneaking in round the doorway. Brolin was suspicious the whole time. And Brolin will close this. That second orb delivers for MOUZ and secures a winning half for this MOUZ squad.
They spend the half trying to avoid Torshi, but they still run into the AWP on the B bomb site. They just can't escape it.
And, you know, considering something you touched upon earlier on was how this matchup hasn't happened. And 3D Max call a very explosive on-the-fly game. They have a lot of little tricks up their sleeve. And so I really like the adjustments that MOUZ were pulling in on the fly. Torshi constantly watching for those cat walk-ups, and with the prevalence of the sort of mid-to-Bs that were being bought out from 3D Max meant he was always in a fighting position to try and help out on players crossing in the spawn. Some great awareness there. It just felt like 3D Max had their options removed at the start of this series. Felt like everything they were doing was working. They had some really nice calls dating all the way back to the pistol round. The back-to-back rounds where Joko contact plays up through the short side, expecting, you know, little resistance from MOUZ as they're rotating players back from long, and instead kind of floating around ramp, waiting for util to be that telegraphing fact of the play happening. And so MOUZ had to make adjustments on the fly here, but it works out brilliantly for them. They're able to piece together the 3D Max puzzle.
Yeah, I only felt like there was one piece there on that T side. MOUZ going to go for the B hit, late mid smoke. Akin to MOUZ, 3D Max push up middle in the pistol round. We got Julies at the top side right now. Shui going to get caught and run down. Exercised in lower. This is going to force MOUZ's hand into that B play.
And in they come. Joko can't hold the line. Exertion dealt with. It's going to fall to Brolin. This guy knows the B site.
Yeah, they're going together.
They run him down. They don't give him room.
It's a nice play. They get out. They don't overcommit in the 4v1, and then they go 3-2-1. Everyone swinging together. So 3D Max on their map pick up a pistol. Hell, they pick up 2. No bomb plant, not expecting the MOUZ force, not a good map for it. They got a scout on Torshi, a couple of Glocks. Expecting maybe Maka to do the same, but he's on the rifle right now. Hasn't had a huge chance to get warmed in with the AWP. We saw some deep peaks down middle, but Torshi never met him there. Never gave him that fight. Just going with the rifle for now. MAX opting not to play middle, instead Gravity just jump spots from the doors, so MOUZ will get contact all the way up cat. Run boost, perhaps?
Lucky should be in a position that... Oh, it's a failed run boost still. Dink connects. Maka's here to support. 2 Glock dinks come down range.
Careful.
Surely this don't get out of control exercise here to neaten things out. And sure, you take a lot of damage, but you get away with the round, and that's what matters if you're 3D Max.
Yeah.
MOUZ go back to the guns now. You know, I think Brolin had a good first half here, and that feels important. That feels consequential, because if you remember game 1 of the major elimination stage of the matchup versus Pain, Brolin was lights out. But since that point, he has really hit some struggles versus the tougher opposition. Started with the Mongols, continued in that phase game. And so him, you know, stepping up here when it really matters feels consequential. He's someone that we have to keep an eye on. Because throughout the tournament so far, it's been Exertion and it's been Torshi, the 2 guys top in the charts, to try and keep the lights on for MOUZ. They've lost Exertion to open up this round. The double tunnel push out of 3D Max has left MOUZ wanting. Torshi's tried to go back to keep an eye on this, but heard on his rotate through the spawn. This is a weird place for the fight to go down. You never see fights here, but Joko on this aggressive path in through spawn. He came into this series with fighting words, and his actions just speak that much louder. 3D Max, the guns come out and are swiftly put away. Oh.
I don't think MOUZ are ready for that kind of aggression. Look at Torshi jumping there. He didn't think 3D Max were going all the way up B, pushing top mid. MOUZ are completely caught off guard by the pace of 3D Max. On CT side, Dust2, they get a couple kills, they just send it. And that's the momentum play that 3D Max love. That's their ability to upset showcased. Tech9's out long very quick. 3D Max, 2 players here.
Exercise on the transfer.
Just breaks the smoke.
Tries to face them head on. Oh, it needs to be cleaner this time on Catwalk, and Lucky will walk away with it.
1 gun. Put it to use. Look at the nades. Flash, flash, HE. MOUZ do reset, and fair enough. 4 players swing long. And MOUZ can go back T-spawn to B if they want, but by that point 3D Max will have control. In fact, they have more than that. They've got 3 players moving over. Now it's just Lucky. The 1 low player, if he gets back plat, he's on the headshot angle, that's great. MOUZ getting smoked out of B, just have to wait this. They need the clean entry from Brolin.
Good timing on the re-smoke. Oh, still it's awkward for Lucky. Gravity's here to assist, but Torshi has been able to make it across. Last time 3D Max just chased this down, and they do much the same here. Good flash from Joko to tee him up. So 3D Max keep that one contained.
If they win this round, MOUZ are in a lot of trouble. That would be 5 straight on CT. 2 gun rounds, 1 just gone immediately.
It can feel tricky to solve if you're shooting right now, because 3D Max are really keeping you guessing in terms of these opening moves.
Oh, that's just a smoke shot.
That helps a lot. Torshi provides. Long take in, but it looks like MOUZ want to try play through this. That's crazy. Right into the hands of Exercise. That's what 3D Max are hoping for. In the meantime, Exertion taking room with Jimmy alongside him. They're out in B. And Lucky's got no idea.
No.
He has no clue. He's going to die on the rotate. He thinks the site is still clear. Moving in. That's a freebie. And so MOUZ show it's not just Joko on his wild contact cap plays that can spring through the util and defy expectation. They still want to attempt this. Running through the molly was Maka. That's the AWP now gone, and Shui even holding these rotates. Finally, 3D Max decided enough is enough, but it feels like that's even later than you would have liked. They've sacrificed the AWP in doing so.
Round could have gone very wrong for MOUZ, but playing both extremities at the same time, contact through the long smoke and contact through the B smoke, and hoping one of them works to get some real estate. Unfortunately enough, that long hit pulled the B player out of the bomb site for a moment. A moment is all MOUZ needed. They seize it and they take 8. Still neck and neck. And that all lost in B. Not going to be a save here for Exercise. Certainly helped out by Torshi getting that mid pick. Otherwise, surely would have been an anchor in that B bomb site the whole time. Tactical pause coming out from 3D Max. Funds not established, can't get too comfortable here on CT side. Even despite this 4-round streak. MOUZ are chomping at the bits to get back in this map. And taking it poises them for a 2-0 and to eliminate the French roster from their first major.
Berlin with the long spawn. You've seen him wanting to fight for this control more often than not. Playing behind their smoke, he uses it against them. Maka making a move in the meantime, all the way up through middle. As Brolin and Lucky go blow for blow, band for band over on long. Maka looking to take M for M as he flicks back onto Brolin. Torshi Buchholz, and there's the trade. Maka dealt with that thorn in their side. That AWP pushed all the way up into the top of middle. Taken out in the head-to-head. Gravity making a move in the meantime. Creeping up through the lower tunnels. Jimmy decides to get out of there. He's got a funny feeling about this, and a good time for him to back up as 3D Max push into the upper tunnels. They battle into the spawn.
How'd he get that kill? Jimmy fired first. He had the angle. But he is not having a great game. 5 and 11 right now. Him and Shui are the same.
Look at how much pressure's been put on MOUZ, right? There's 45 seconds left in the round, and they're still trapped over here in top of mid. Finally trying to make their move. But Gravity finds himself another. Nearly topping the charts is Gravity. Left to Torshi's AWP so often. Torshi's been the guy trying to make all the difference across this opening map. From the 3K in the very first rifle to open is found on the AWP. But Gravity, the unavoidable force right now for MOUZ.
And that's crazy, right? Like, there's only 3 maps of play, but Gravity is one of the bottom-rated players of this major so far. And for the flip side, you may question, oh, but they've only had 3 maps. They've played some very hard games here, have 3D Max against G2, against MIBR. Well, Joko's number 10 in the whole major stage. So it hasn't held him back. Gravity, what a map, what a time to come alive. The young player, the most inexperienced player in this roster, and a 3K at this point in the game has absolutely changed the tune. MOUZ buy down to the last dollar. And right when you think MOUZ are ready to get back in this matchup, 3D Max poise them a question. Oh, the double jump bait But Torshi doesn't get punished for firing off early. Maka peeks below. 3B for 3D Max. MOUZ haven't used Cat once in this T side. And Maka's going for it. Jimpa, I mean, I have a bad feeling for him, but he really needs his kill. Just to get back in the game, that's a huge shot to keep MOUZ in the advantage. Exertion still commits after the flash.
Just a little angle for only a moment. That's all he needed.
Oh.
They've knocked Gravity out of play. The only way's up here for MOUZ. 4-on-3. Joko trapped out on an island over in middle. Does he just take this time to retreat?
I like this gamble. It is going to be wrong. 3D Max will end up having to save, but it gives them their best chance to win the round. Joker was already tagged by that Galil. If he played middle or B, he would have been removed. So stacking with his team ensures a full save for 3D Max, allows a rebuy. Late in the game, we have these back and forth round trades. Again, I gotta say, huge kill for Jimpat. If he doesn't get that frag, I think this game is probably lost. Just because of where we are, the control that would have given 3D Max in the round. Getting rid of the B lurker. And allowing 3D Max to rotate out safely. So this keeps MOUZ in the thick of it. Just a round behind.
And you know, I think moments like that showcase the double-edged sword that is 3D Max's whole style of play, right? You risk a lot of the round there on that AWP peeking up into the tunnels, but as Maka has tried to make very obvious across these last few rounds, he likes to call a very aggressive game and he likes to be in the thick of it on that AWP. When it works, it can feel very suffocating. It can surprise and shock your opponents, but when it goes against you, when you lose that opener, go down 4v5, and then you answer it with more aggression, can leave you wanting.
No up now.
Another aggressive move. Double play into lower tunnels. Lucky with a chance to strike. And there's Joko, a helping hand lent on the upper tunnels push.
Yeah, Torshi is throwing mid-smoke. He never saw that rush in lower, so he's got to save this round right now with the AWP. They're out long. I can't believe MOUZ got caught off guard by a pacey play from 3D Max. It's their whole playbook. 4-on-3, low players, not done yet.
Oh, and there goes Gravity. Brolin dead, crossing first. Teammate in the site gonna get spammed out. Gravity keeps the pressure on with flashes. There's another swing, but it's low HP on Joko. Gravity might have a lot to answer for here as he's flashed out for a peek. Goes for the swing. Shui denies. It's down to this 1v1. The captain of MOUZ holds on. A tie game as Shui stands and delivers.
What a sequence. What a shot. The transfer from top to bottom from Shui. A very quiet game individually, but that is the kicker, the killing blow. Terrorists win. And Cyclone immediately calms them down because right now MOUZ have been given a lifeline, an amazing opportunity to end this map. They have a full eco against them. A lead near guaranteed. Those flashes were, I feel like, too obvious for 3D Max. Look at how MOUZ, both players who fought that, were able to turn. Just able to dodge it completely. We all remember the Alexi flash over the wall from that EPL final. Feel like that would have gone a lot better for the Frenchman. Full mid-rush now, but MOUZ have cottoned on. They know it's coming. They're here to deal with it. No problem. Game on for 3D Max.
I mean, it's 3D Max's whole style is to go for these aggressive moves. As the rifles come out now with the lead, finally going against them, is this where they slow it down?
Yeah.
They're going to be reluctant to do so. You can't abandon the way that you play, and so they still leave that threat of aggression in the minds of MOUZ with the nade in through lower. But look at how ready MOUZ were for that push.
I feel like they wanted to go, but that nade from lower really scares you that there's a player on the fast flank and you've got to re-clear this position if you want to actually execute B. So look at the util exertions having to pop down and lower as MOUZ poised for an upper hit. And there's 3 CTs in the site. There's Maka trained in. This could go very wrong for MOUZ. This lurk for Shui is doing nothing to sell 3D Max, but actually MOUZ decide to use that real estate.
Yeah, Shui actually made a really ballsy move there. He crept up and like called the bluff on the smoke. He peeked around it, saw no one was in the site. Maka's gonna open with his AWP.
Oh,
first decision made. Brolin, there's a lot of bodies around this smoke in middle, and 3D Max come hunting. They link back up with their captain Longside, but that room that he once possessed, that gap that he once thought he found, well, it's closing up as 3D Max reinforced this A site heavy. Shui saved the day with a big multi-kill in that last round, a clutch up.
Oh!
Might have to do it again. Backstab in for gravity. Oh, and Joko takes it home. Tie game. 3D Max clamped down on the A site. They were all over the map there, and every move picture perfect out of 3D Max.
Yeah, that had to happen in a 5-on-3. They had to finish it, even with a double for Shui. They just keep throwing bodies at the problem, and, well, that's a solution for 3D Max. Gravity through CT smoke, Joko on the long flank. They don't let MOUZ rest. And here we go. All the rounds, and then maybe more. Maka with a long peek. Brolin plays his spawn. Maka's so blind. Can the repeat connect? It does. Oh, Shui! He's just alive. He's just activated out of absolutely nowhere. Late in this game, can he save MOUZ?
Oh, that's awkward. That was a golden chance for exertion. Same can be said for Exercise, who's going through the motions, who's conceding this control. It's left the gravity on the backstab, and Torshi, quick turn. Jimmy, they line up for him over in middle. And as this one's gotten near the end, it has become a brawl. MOUZ hitting harder, hitting faster, and matching 3D Max's aggression leaves them broken up against 12.
Yeah, and it's how 3D Max have gotten their rounds. You barely blame them for playing this aggressive and pushing the extremities this much. They have been oppressive. They have been aggressive. They have managed to get into MOUZ's spawn, for crying out loud. These long flanks have had great timings. You understand why they want to keep doing it, but MOUZ hitting some stupendous shots. That one tap for Shui onto the AWP, no less. Beautiful way to take map point for MOUZ after Maka finds a 5v4. But right now it's 3D Max bottomed out. Pistols, MP9s, and MOUZ with the best opportunity. One they surely won't waste.
Look at the long stack for 3D Max. This fight on a Brolin has been fairly consistent. Oh, but the moment now you see it not come through, 3D Max have to start mobilizing. They've got to start moving here.
He heard heavy nades.
Fake mid-smoke. Exertion plays ahead of it. He already is in a position to win this whole game. Could have cut down those rotates instead. It's just the one and done as Gravity trades him. More aggression across the board here.
Careful.
Double up on short with the SMGs, but shots connect. Torshi and Shui. Kills a piece. A-site cracked. Wide open. And so 3D Max's lifeline in this game, the chances they've had gone to waste as MOUZ look to take it. You're now hoping that Gravity and Joko can cook something up. This scavenged AK on Gravity, cut down, and left to Joko. That realization setting in.
Whoa!
Wild spam, but it's going to be so much more than that. He's going to keep on going, and one is all he gets. MOUZ steal this one away with the resurgence of Captain Shui in that important clutch.
Yeah, he had a great RMR, but so far in the major has been fairly underwhelming for MOUZ, I would say. You know, had a couple of key rounds down the stretch on Dust too. But I also agree with that assessment. Nuke, CT side ramp, doesn't get much better for Jimmy than this position. And the rotates from MOUZ are really strong on this map, so they're always going to have support when he's required. We're getting into it, folks. Map 2 of this series, elimination, but no progression to the playoffs. MOUZ or 3D Max will have to fight their way through another BO3 after this one. Loser goes home.
I know MOUZ is certainly the team with playoff progression as the standard, what we've come to expect. And so I think for them it would be a very positive sign if they're able to close this out in 2.
It's a crazy push.
Drop down the vent, right into the exercise. That's a lot of damage done. Can't get away with anything else. Jimmy secures that path to rotate up into the top side, but he's low on ammo. They drop back down the vent. MOUZ are getting crazy with this. These are the sort of moves you'd expect out of 3D Max, not the other way.
And it just went surprisingly too well on upper there, right? Jimmy running out of the hut after the outside control finds a kill, and even though MOUZ wanted to go B, he cleared out the A site completely. They come up vent, they go back down when they spot both 3D Max players all over the house, all over the shop for MOUZ. But a team that's very comfortable at calling on the fly like that.
I like that they're doing it. You know, I think you can exploit the pressure that 3D Max are feeling. You know, this is a jittery team, even at the best of times. And so, you know, manipulating this defense by never having a clear end goal in sight, especially in a round that's that wild, is a nice way to open if you're MOUZ. Saw that Maka dropped out there. Now either he's perma-flashed or something's up with that computer.
Brilliant pistol for Brolin as well. Been even quieter than Jimmy in these games that MOUZ have lost.
Yeah, he had a really hot start like game 1. Admittedly, you know, versus the easiest opposition that MOUZ would face. He looked very convincing in the Pain game.
And that was on Nuke, if I recall.
It was. Carried himself well, had a lot of impact, played very confident. Was kind of one of the guys to get the ball rolling before MOUZ picked up that win. That's the only win that MOUZ have right now. And in the games that followed to the Mongols and FaZe Clan, he was far quieter. And, you know, one of the things that was always so appealing about this MOUZ squad was it felt like anyone could step up. Sure, you had your sort of definable stars. You had the X factor of Torshi, someone who, especially since CS2's come out, has been fantastic. You have Exertion as this very confident, space-taking player. But then you had Brolin and Jimmy on extremities, and even the captain of Shui, who certainly weren't immune to putting up big numbers themselves. At this tournament, it has been a more standard, you know, like you have 2 identifiable stars and then the guys supporting them. And so I think for MOUZ, it's going to be important to feel like everyone gets switched online, everyone gets activated on the tail end of this game.
Yeah, especially with these rosters that are still left here in the major, and these predicament spots, these 2-1 games, these 1-2 games. Still Spirit heroic, still Na'Vi trying to fight back on the last day.
You know, I mean, this was something Flame said in his interview just yesterday with James Banks. He said he thinks the teams that have the best bond, especially with so much uncertainty swelling around after this major, are going to do well. And that's something that Vitality have been putting a lot of time and effort into. Well, these MOUZ guys are supposed to excel in that sense.
Yeah.
You know, for the core of them, they have a long history together, even factoring in their coach, Cycrone. He's been with this team now bordering on 5 years. I think it's 4 years.
Yeah, since the academy days.
Yeah, since all the way back in MOUZ NXT.
And they split, but they came back together, right? Should we go into Game Elysium, but now brought back into this MOUZ team, and adding on another young piece of Brolin, who ironically is the experienced player at the same time, but still a guy very early in his years. Yeah, they do have a good bond. And also, you mentioned uncertainty. I don't, to my knowledge, there's no MOUZ rumors. There's no.
I think there's been some rumors around Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
And even then, there's certainly other pieces of this MOUZ squad. Like, you're telling me no one's been remotely interested in exertion?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, but everyone's talking about how, you know, for the most part, for most players in the major, nothing's solidified. Even Rop said in an interview just yesterday that things depend on the major right now. Things depend on the result, how teams do when it comes to these roster changes. So I think you can save yourself, you can save the vibe with a deep run. Maybe players don't want to leave their teams after that point, but yeah, if Jimmy were to leave this team, it would be a huge loss to MOUZ and a very hard spot to fill to get a player of his value. His output.
He was just such a diamond in the rough type of find,
out of
right?
Nowhere,
because I think Brolin for Frozen was actually like a pretty... I mean, it was certainly a risky swap, right? Brolin, for the longest time, had just kind of been wasting away in the realms of Swedish Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I did not think it would be as successful as this. I don't think many did.
In terms of him being a young yet supremely experienced player, he fit the bill there in the same way Frozen did, someone that we've nicknamed lovingly the young veteran.
Yeah.
Brolin very much foots the bill in that regard. But Jimmy for JDC was... you know, I don't think anyone quite expected him to hit as hard as he did, especially when he first moved into this MOUZ team. And sure, there's been some quieter games for him since then.
Definitely.
But the thing that always made him so attractive was that he would put up star numbers in not star positions.
Yeah.
Right? Like your ramp player Nuke is one of the top performers. I mean, your Nuke feels unbeatable at that point.
Yeah, got your ice-cold finish veins and so clutch as well. Very calm.
You know, I mean, even that is like a testament, something that MOUZ have never struggled with, at least if their academy team, which now became their main team, was anything to go by, was their talent scouting. I think they've always had a great eye for that in the game. That's why we saw MOUZ NXT back when they were MOUZ NXT dominate the academy leagues. It was never even close, and that was back when you had guys like Donk playing in there, right? It was never really about him. It was all about this MOUZ squad.
Well, don't worry. There's still an NXT team out there somewhere, Harry. They've got a full mixed European roster. They got a Finn. They got an Icelandic player. Another young Hungarian, Bulgarian, and Czech player. So I'm sure we'll be seeing them one day, if I know MOUZ. Just waiting for Maka to get back in, folks. Should not be too long from this point. MOUZ won the pistol here on Nuke on their map pick. Starting T-side. Let's talk about Shui's recovery, because that end to Dust 2, he was with Jimmy 5 and 11. Had a pop-off clutch round, followed up by one-tapping the AWPer in a crucial gun round to essentially set MOUZ up to win the game at 11-all. Things you just love to see. The talent on this MOUZ roster runs deep. And 3D Max, this is their biggest test yet. Lost to G2 yesterday, just about. But now fighting for survival here in Shanghai.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this is where it's like, you know, where these teams have met up on their journey throughout the major is unfortunate for 3D Max, right? This is MOUZ with a fire lit beneath them. Like we say, kind of, it would feel unacceptable for this MOUZ squad to be in a position where they're eliminated so far short of playoffs. Like, I think even falling out 2-3 is a massive blow to MOUZ and where we hold this team in the standings. They were favorites to make it into playoffs for a lot of folks. And so this isn't, you know, day one MOUZ. This isn't day two MOUZ, even where you meet them in a BO1 and they're 1-1. And so maybe, you know, they don't have that fire lit beneath them yet. This is MOUZ trying to match up to expectations, because safe to say they've fallen beneath that so far. Even in that FaZe game, you know, that ongoing rivalry between MOUZ and FaZe, a series that they've started winning out as of this year after wins in Rio and Blast. Well, that's now gone back the other way of FaZe. They handed them an L there. Playing versus former teammate of these guys, Frozen. Former MOUZ captain of Carrigan and former MOUZ star of ROPS. For 3D Max, meanwhile, you know, it felt like even them getting to the major in the fashion they did was a huge turning point for this team. Squad that's been on the rise. Lucky chasing that major dream since his departure from G2 5 years ago.
That's not easy to come back like that, right? Like to be on a top team.
Well, and to do it all with the French roster as well.
Yeah,
And one of the things that's always been levied against, you know, like French Counter-Strike, even echoed by the likes of people like Apex, who is, you know, the captain of that region. It's always been the case of like, well, other than ZywOo, there hasn't really been that next generation, right? There hasn't really been those players passing up and kind of getting their names out there and being these dependable pieces. But Lucky sought to be a part of the French Rising and, you know, joining up with the old kind of Heat and Double Pony merger of teams.
And look at those players from that run, right? From that old French G2 that Lucky was on, right? It's Jax. Okay, sure, we saw him stand in the other day for Vitality, otherwise not playing consistently top CS. Shox, who's, you know, was on Liquid and now we haven't seen since that point. Kenny S, who's gone and actually at the Shanghai Major, and Amanek, who again, another player lost to time, Harry. So Lucky, the only remaining active player from that roster. All right, folks, it feels like we have a bit of an extended technical break here for Maka. So we'll be taking a brief momentum and coming back in just a moment. Join us for the remainder of 3D Max MOUZ after this.
And we're back. Tech issues resolved. Ready to go. 3D Max. Bit of a momentum break there. But everything's sorted now. Maka with some, I think with driver issues, but all locked and loaded, ready to go. As for anyone just tuning in, MOUZ picked up a win in the pistol. They did some real treachery and trickery, darting up and down the vents to keep 3D Max guessing. For a team that rely a lot on their kind of explosive mid-round calls, MOUZ did a great job of making things awkward for them. Force buy up now for 3D Max as they bring SMGs and pistols into this follow-up round. Exertion, gonna try get in their face out in the yard. That's a freebie delivered to Maka.
Yeah, MOUZ might just have to go. All they've got is radio right now. No one even ready to do top site util, but a boost up for 3D Max. A cheeky little gimmick on a force buy like this. MOUZ might get baited in by Joko's Deeg if it connects. That just sweetens the treat. MOUZ show face. They get the nades in. They burn out hell, but there's still going to be 3 CTs in position.
One man managed to get past Exercise. Brolin makes it down the road. That's an awkward quick switch there. Didn't look intentional for Exercise. Oh dear, there was certainly a chance for 3D Max in this round, but it might start petering out now. Shui ready to cut down these rotates,
dear.
Stops Lucky in his tracks.
Wait.
Gravity just seconds late from denying that bomb plant. Now's the one under the pressure of the clock, and Brolin with a big second round on that Mag-10.
It's not often you see a mistake as glaring as that, but just a misclick for Exercise. If he doesn't hit his knife button there, I think he probably gets a double kill from that position. It's a very different round. It's an unquantifiable round there for 3D Max. And instead, it's a 2-0 lead for MOUZ. And frustration might set in for Maka if this technical issue continues. It's not going to make your life any easier early in the game. In an elimination matchup between MOUZ and 3D Max. Disastrous way for it to go for the in-game leader.
Have it happen to your captain of all people, far from ideal. You don't want him kind of pre-tilted coming into this game.
Oh, it's not pre anymore. We're well in it. MOUZ on the first couple of steps in the right direction.
Yeah, seems like it's cropped up again.
A lot easier to be in the MOUZ seat at this point. Just trying to stay calm. See a lot of players use these times just to breathe, close their eyes. Frozen has always been someone like that. Ex-MOUZ player, very calm, very good at resetting, but MOUZ don't look too perturbed right now, knowing they're going in the right step.
Yeah, I mean, they just picked up that win up against the second round force. They're going to get a nice string of rounds going early on here on their T side. You just know 3D Max is going to have a lot of ideas here on Nuke and won't be afraid to play them. You just hope this doesn't factor in at all.
Meanwhile, you want a B-Stream update, Harry?
Yeah, go on, why not?
FaZe G2.
I tuned in a little bit earlier in our break and it wasn't looking great.
Got destroyed. 7 rounds across 2 maps. G2, quick work of them. They may have started a little bit slowly with an L to the Mongols. But 2 BO1 wins. Now a BO3, G2 are indeed in the playoffs.
Oh, this is nice. I like exertion work in the crowd.
Later on, we've got Spirit Heroic also for a playoff spot, as well as Liquid v MIBR in a regional bout. Na'Vi are trying to come back from the same position that MOUZ and 3D Max are in, a 1-2. Na'Vi Gamer Legion. And of course, finishing the day, Fury of Pain, also 1-2. Brazilian teams eliminating each other.
You know, I think that MIBR Liquid game is super interesting because Liquid are one of the only teams that could struggle to punish pick against MIBR, right?
Even Mirage?
Even Mirage. It's just, you know, not one of the mainstay maps for this Liquid team. Still, they've shown that they're willing to play it in the past. I just don't know if you would feel super switched on picking into that. It's like the one series where you could say, because I think if you're Liquid, you try and play to your strengths as opposed to your opponent's weaknesses. It's like the one series where Mirage might not crop up. And so I actually think that one is pretty interesting because as we saw yesterday, Mirage is a serious weak point for that MIBR squad.
Yeah, I also just think they got really heavily countered, right? Flames, he talked about it in the post-game interview about how they were prepped, they knew what MIBR were going to do.
And you felt that in that game.
Both T-side starts for Vitality, they were very slow at the beginning and let MIBR kind of walk around and walk into their crosshairs and make plays. And Vitality was so willing to punish those plays. Liquid, I think, are a lot more aggressive team. We're going to see them brawl. We're going to see them battle.
And I think, you know, if someone like Yakindar is willing to give Insani some opening duels, something that Vitality never did.
Maybe Insani can get activated, huh? I think a big difference for Liquid when we saw them on the BO1 on Inferno yesterday against Furia was Yakinder was getting traded a lot more.
Yeah.
And so many times I've seen Yakinder go in
like
up top
using
B
him differently
and just get left to his own. So it was nice to see Ultimate right behind him in so many of those rounds, actually rifling up a Storm in that T side, and then back to the AWP on CT, still hitting his classic short shots. So that was one of the more exciting Liquid games I've seen from this major so far. Spirit Heroic, I think, stands out to me mostly because Heroic have looked better than anyone could have expected, I think. Managing to take Mongols to 3 maps, really almost winning that series, maybe should have won that series on map 2. But they also beat FaZe, beat Passion UA in the previous stage to get here. And a Spirit that are trying to warm in, and they're so hard to quantify because they 13-2 Na'Vi. But it does feel like an off tournament for Na'Vi right now.
All right, so it seems like these tech issues for Maka have cropped up again. We're going to be throwing this over to a quick break, and then when we get back, we'll continue with this MOUZ 3D Max elimination matchup.
Welcome back, folks, to MOUZ v 3D Max, an extended technical break away, a new PC for Maka, and elimination on the line between these two rosters in a 1-2 matchup. Hoping for the nod soon, as it's just a TeamSpeak issue, Harry. So this should be fine.
A different issue.
That's a pretty fix, a quick fix.
This is a nice, easy fix.
I've never had a TeamSpeak issue in my life. It's not real. And they agree. We're back in.
The TeamSpeak issue in the room with you right now?
No, it's not. We're live. Nuke, MOUZ's map pick after they clinched Dust 2 away from the grasp of 3D Max. It was an impressive map from the French, playing very aggressive, their typical style, and they almost won the force buy in the second round here. Back to pistols now, though, as MOUZ should start off 3-0.
Do have some util here to try and take pace out of the round on the side of 3D Max.
Not much you can do about the yard smokes, though.
Oh, they actually come through with lobby aggression, but MOUZ are waiting for exactly this. And they get their reward. Lucky and Maka both trying to crunch on exertion out in the yard, but he's traded places with them and should have a freebie here on the fade of that smoke. Gonna flick back, finds Lucky, never saw Maka down secret.
He will. Oh.
Oh, no!
Crowd gave it away, man.
Exertion even giving them a little love heart sign.
If they want to see knife kills, can't be doing that. He'll take it. 3-0. We're gonna get to the point where players realize they can't do that and they can't play sneaky plays because they're gonna get given away. I hope in the playoffs people take the kills when they get them. That's the next evolution.
Well, in this first rifle round, yard smokes are in. And 3D Max, we promised you they would play a very rotate-heavy, kind of surprising style. They've already got 2 players down at lower. It looks like both of them want to come through with aggression. You've dealt with gravity, but are you ready for exercise? There's the double
baby. They learned their lesson.
Maka, won't connect. Down into the B site already, but Joko out on an island. Shui gets away with murder. As now it's just Lucky. Jimmy holding the line, delivered that final kill.
What happened there? What's Joko looking at? Stuck on the railing, clearing dark or something. And Shui's Galil, again, akin to the end of Dust 2, shows up in a big way with a snappy shot back to single door. Nice bait set up in secret, but it's not enough to win the round. And Maka's close orb, nothing worse than facing on a Mach 10 that can jump around corners and still maintain the air of accuracy. 3D Max, force back. But it's MOUZ running the board right now.
Oh, Brolin keeping up strong Nuke performances for this MOUZ squad. As right now, MOUZ are just storming the board. There's really nothing 3D Max can do about it. They've had 1 rifle round so far played in this second half, in this first half rather. And relegated down to the pistols. They're getting iced out. No chance to find anything on this force. Yeah, it's flawless from MOUZ.
You can tell MOUZ have a great game plan coming in, which is to abuse the outside smokes, but at the same time remain very vigilant of these lobby pushes, because it's the standard reaction. You lose info outside, especially if you're on a low econ round. If you don't have lower rotates quickly, or a guy starting lower, you need to take lobby back. And so in these half-buy rounds, every time 3D Max have pushed lobby, and MOUZ have been so ready for it. Through the door smoke, Jimmy holds strong with another double. And MOUZ have punished all this pushing for 3D Max. It's very hard to call around this right now. If MOUZ are going to continue to run these smokes, you almost feel like 3D Max need to go back to that early secret drop or contest the yard earlier in the round. Because MOUZ are just getting all the control.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see, you know, MOUZ have a very good idea of what to expect from 3D Max. And this can feel kind of brutal if you're 3D Max. Like, the way you might have to try and win out on this CT side is moving away from your usual game plan. You know, do they have the reps to do that? It's a bit different out in the yard. This time getting the better of exertion. And that puts a stop to this bullying out in the yard.
Oh, Molly, brutal. Top hut, but it cleans closed door up, and they're just going to explode into this upper side. Torshi getting caught in the smoke. Bomb loose. Exercise makes a heads-up play to get that AK and block the door. Jimmy can't come back in. Shui's got to clear him from the lobby side. They're pushed on ramp. Shui's aware.
Yeah, don't underestimate Shui right now. That would be a grave error, even though 3D Max certainly are given a chance there, a lifeline by Exercise in defense of the top site. It all comes crumbling down.
Yeah, MOUZ do a lap around the bomb site. Jimmy waiting for him to peek back in, hoping Shui's pressure is enough, and it is. Another multi-kill for Jimpat. Despite the Anchor's best efforts, MOUZ keep this flawless. Got some HEs, maybe for smokes. Oh, what a play. That almost feels like prep. It's so perfect, clearing that corner. On the anti-eco, MOUZ still come dropping in. Roland gets traded. Molly could be disastrous for Gravity. There's nowhere to go. Lucky to be alive.
Yeah, not going to spread far enough. Gravity allowed to hang around over here in main. Is Exertion aware of that? Does he think that Molly should have cleared the close corner? He seems very suspicious.
Oh,
he doesn't know where to look. That shearing gave him a moment where he thought he was dead on. Ends up looking silly outside, and it's just left onto Torshi.
Uh-oh.
This time the Molly lands better, forces Gravity off the angle at least, but with 45 seconds left. Tag, they give him another chance. That orb strikes twice for Torshi to find Joko. Wallbang's very, very close. Even now, 3D Max slowing it down, knowing they have to play a trade here, but these shots rallying in through main. One in the right place would get rid of Gravity. Lucky's ready to pounce out if Gravity falls.
Is he?
There's the backstab. Lucky arrives just in time.
My God, those wall bangs were so close, and that would have killed the main player instantly. 2 or 3 of them right there. Felt like it was coming together. Joker pushing with knife out after he gets spotted. Do you not know who you're up against? Torshi, he loves a re-peek. And 3D Max win an eco of all the rounds they've won in this game. Or they could have won, it's that one. Better late than never. Can they keep it coming?
I think it has to start by forcing some respect out of Exertion out here in the yard. Tagging him up is not a bad way to start this round, especially not with Joko taking space down in secret, but the rest of MOUZ all grouped in lobby. Exertion's the one guy throwing out on a Solo venture. Aggression, lobby side.
Oh. Shui looks like a star player right now. Just hitting the cleanest shots in this series. Good timing on the ramp peak. Hits his. And the rifle uncrouches. A deadly 1-2 punch. That might just be a knockout on this round.
I mean, Shui's had some blinders, but... Whoa! Toshi covering fire!
It's one way to bait the shot.
He still sacrificed a lot to get away with that kill. Shui now tagged up and brought down low with only 15 seconds left. MOUZ, are they going to attempt this one? That AWP on Toshi, pretty tantalizing save. And yeah, they send Shui in first. Toshi tries to get away, but Exercise moves in swiftly to deal with him. 3D Max stumbling back to their feet. After a win with the pistols, they pick up a round now on the return to rifles, streaking two of them together. But they need to be damn near flawless on the remainder.
Ooh. It's barely a wrist. And yeah, 6-6 is your hope. Don't know how realistic it feels right now. MOUZ looking like they're still playing solid despite this 2-round take. Lucky again on the cross. Did this before. This time he's playing a little bit later. Behind the smokes. Torshi's waiting.
No one top silo to punish this. Instead, it's meant to be Torshi's AWP, but Lucky lines him up to open. Exertion with a swift trade. But you can see, right, you've spotted that AWP outside, out in the yard. You've seen Exertion there now as well. This is only going to spur on and encourage 3D Max to go back to these lobby takes. They've pushed up aggro on the ramp side. Exercise sleeping at the wheel. Gravity's going to have to be the difference maker. There's the support from Maka's AWP. That suddenly opens up a route through ramp if MOUZ want to take it. Brolin does have this bomb. Knows where both players are. That AWP in heaven has left a worry that it could have rotated in through ramp, but that's why Exertion is here to clear that path.
Oh, do they just group ramp together? Sure, you would expect the heaven flank for Exertion, but this is the last thing the 3D Max are thinking of. A really nice route to be. Now they start to run. 3D Max, they may realize, but it will be too late. That bomb's going to get planted in Astralis. Brolin getting it down. Kit on the AWP as well, so Maka almost has to commit to this one. What's he looking for? An upgrade, an AK? It's going to leave him out of the picture for now. Gravity might just wait for his teammate before he commits to the double door clear, knowing this is a potent post-plant position for Exertion.
They have a molly, but trying to maintain the element of surprise, they don't use it. Instead, they were looking at double swing Exertion. Maka gets past him. Oh, was that retrieval of the AK worth it? That save of the molly, so valuable. Swing out from Brolin.
Wait, that molly.
Able to find a little safety net is Maka. And so everything saved, everything gained. Maka gets away with that 1v2 to keep this streak closing in for 3D Max.
Very nice try for Brolin, tucked there in dark. Another inch on that Molotov, and it might have been enough to win out the round. Knows he can't win that fight. If he swings inside the molly, he's going to get body shot out of the round. So 3D Max get a difficult retake on that lower site pieced together.
In this topside rush, oh, is it vent drop? Goal should be to stop this bomb getting planted. Gravity.
Shut down. There was nothing in this round. MOUZ put all 3,400 plus bomb in. 29 plus bomb.
Satoshi's already trying to save. No question, no doubting that Gravity has found his form on the stage. He was a problem piece that other teams like Eternal Fire look to exploit on this map on 3D Max's RMR run. But not today. That 3K denying the bomb plant, denying MOUZ ever making this round interesting, has massive implications looking forward. With all in here for MOUZ, about to get that 3,400 check, but that leaves him with a partial buy around this AK. They needed a bomb plant here to be able to keep these buys coming out on the T side. Suddenly 3D Max are in a very real position where they could look to tie up this half from going 6-0 down. In a lot of ways, they've done the hardest part now.
Yeah. Just one more rifle round really between it all. And an impressive recovery for 3D Max, who you wouldn't have blamed to dissipate in this game after all the tech pauses to begin this map. Down 0-1, down 0-2, extended breaks, back in at 6-0 down. They've now pieced 4 in a row, and this one should be fairly free following.
Counter-terrorists win.
So MOUZ have to play for the last of the half. Hope this Hero AK can crack open a sight.
You're still able to put a decent bit of money in around this AK. And you certainly should look to do so, right? Have Torshi kind of take a lot of the early fights. Juggle that gun around. Essentially, you pick your gladiator here and you send them out into the fray. .3D Max on the verge of a big comeback here in this first half. They look dead on arrival to this second map. They're now trying to split it right down the middle for a 6-6 finish. The Eagles duel outside. Lucky gets that info, sees a lot of bodies out in the yard. As is often the case, 3D Max push and probe into the lobby, but it's Joko on this fast drop down at lower.
Oh.
It could be a real difference maker. He's going to spot Torshi up on top of red. That AK gone out in no man's land. Tricky to retrieve for MOUZ.
Gonna try. It's all they've got to play with here, and can't quite grab it off of red box. Exercise back of the site, still willing to hold down. They've actually completely lost that AK. They haven't even found it at this point. No reboost. Exertion up close, but it's not going to get far. Lucky. Oh, that is one way to do it. Can Exertion save this eco?
They just heard Maka drop into the site. That's a lot of info for Exertion.
Which means heaven's free, almost certainly. Chewy's hit a deke. Backstab. 2v2. The same two.
Maka dead. Caught out in the open, caught in no man's land, and as you rotate in here, you're thinking Exertion's climbed up into the heavens. Awkward spray. Gravity given a second chance. Up and over, hunts Exertion down. Gravity with a ballsy move. Just Brolin left to be, but that orb serves him well. Showcased he could use it back on Dust 2. And then puts it to work here, winning out that 1v1. That is a 5v4 up against Pistols that goes the way of MOUZ, denies this split half that 3D Max were hoping for.
Brolin was literally the third lowest rated player of this entire stage coming into this BO3. Putting on a phenomenal T-side on Nuke right now. 2KD as MOUZ win an eco right when we were discussing 3D Max pulling it back to 6 apiece. They can still get something at the end of the half. Maka's dropped the bomb in the lobby, winning out that AWP head-to-head. And he wants a little bit more from it as well. Wider angle, gotta watch out. This can go very wrong, Brolin. Easy shot. Maka's quick with it, down the vent in a 5v3.
And this is just great rooting for Maka. He made a few head-scratching decisions in that last round, but here, looking to really leave an impact, carry 3D Max through to a 5-round CT side after all. Double up on aggression, peeking around the vent, insta drop down lower, ready to deal with exertion. Whoa. But the shot will not connect.
Crazy.
That's a big opener for MOUZ to grab hold of. It's going to start forcing some rotates out of 3D Max. They try to reinforce this lower side, but it's all exertion.
I don't think he saw him. Shot through the smoke. And Gravity, he's been a rock right now. He's got to do it again. Essentially a 1v2 in this upper site as Exertion gets repositioned. Exercise, he doesn't know about this right now. He's blocked in. Exertion walks right past him.
Gravity secures that opener in at the door. Exercise besting Exertion, and so 3D Max will hold on. In spite of the gaps, the crazy double that Exertion provides, Gravity is able to withstand.
Yeah, it seemed like Lucky in Hell was aware the ramp was open, so that position for Exercise is not a full bait. It allows Lucky to take the contact, then Exertion shot in the back. And after a ludicrous double kill, down 2 men, Exertion almost makes the impossible happen, but 3D Max get a consolation round at the end of their CT side. It's not a lot. It's not a great half by any means of the word, but it might just be enough.
I mean, very reassuring having Gravity playing like this. For the one, it would have been fair to have all the question marks on. The one guy who you could have almost understand, you know, dropping off in a highly important position, elimination on the line for this French squad. He's answering the call. Him and Exercise, the main parts of resistance thus far for 3D Max. Last time it was Lucky, nearly 40 bombing that got them this spot in the elimination stage of the major. This time, it's the young gunner Gravity. Maka opening, P250 out in the yard, taking straight up fights, while the rest of 3D Max try to explode out onto the ramp room. There's the reply from Torshi. Orpa's on the pistol round clash. Shui was dinked up though in the process. They know he's low. They've got him relegated to this little corner up in the heavens. Are they going to just fly up the ladder here?
Yeah, he's got to hit the headshot right now. It doesn't matter that he has a great position. He's already tagged up. They go lower instead into the double stack. Yeah. There's no kit here though for MOUZ, so they've still got to put up a resistance. Oh, it's a great bait and switch.
Shots fire off from those dual Berettas, giving you a false sense of security. That's an awkward whiff from Jimmy, and it's left to the 3 HP captain. Shui moving in late to the ramp room. He can't win this, and so 3D Max step up to the plate in this second half. Pistol round as good as done.
It's a nice basic pistol there for 3D Max, right? Maka's throwing a smoke outside. He's going for duels, and what that guarantees is when his team hit ramp, the rotator will be outside, so they don't get stacked on. 3D Max avoid the numbers of MOUZ, and while they drop B, it gives them nothing. 3D Max right behind this international squad. A team that anything less than playoffs would be a disaster for.
A team that were leading 6-0 at the start of this game. They're about to lose that lead. They force fought up here, bringing SMGs into the fray, trying to hold on to that feeling of victory that much longer. Out into the top side come 3D Max, and they go swinging. They get out of this unscathed, only losing Joko, the price for entry. Just one player here. And a save called for MOUZ. A map that felt like it was in their back pocket, like they were running away with, is now about to turn against them. 3D Max are going to find themselves in the lead in just a moment's time.
Wow.
And the story that's hovered over MOUZ, this squad's entire careers and their progress onto the main team has always been that tendency to crumble under the bright lights, under the pressure of the occasion, the pressures of the crowd. This was the year they were supposed to move away from that. On the other side, the guy hitting the hardest right now, Gravity, with 30 LAN matches logged in this 3D Max jersey, topping the charts. Doing over the course of this elimination stage what MOUZ have struggled to do over years.
Yeah, and they were finally, shaking off that rust, right? We saw it in Cologne, beating G2, the team that eliminated them in those Copenhagen playoffs. We saw them get a second place in Rio in front of a Brazilian crowd. MOUZ are ready to rewrite their story. There's still time to save it right now. But here on map 2, 3D Max are not going down without a fight. Fast plays all day. They go into A.
Exertions, the Eagle offers up one, but that nade deletes him, wipes him clean. Sight open, Maka low on ammo as he takes this swing, but it might not come to matter. Brolin toppled. Bomb moving down lower, gonna link up with Joko, and Gravity even in a position to manipulate these rotates. That dink seals the deal. He knows that not fighting is his best path to win this round. And so MOUZ commit to the save. 3D Max up in the lead.
Yeah, Toshi will have an upgrade, a bit of money for the AWP. Oh, misses that timing.
Only thing he can hunt here is a Mach 10. Oh, actually, Joko's backing up into this position.
Got to save from the bomb somewhere.
Is he ready for this? Toshi gets out with one. That's some cash banked up for him.
Oh, he might be dead, though. Either way, Jimmy saves the AK. 3D Max saved their souls on this T side, 8-7. Lead taken from 6-0 down. Been a very quiet run of rounds for MOUZ.
I mean, this is a golden opportunity for 3D Max to take control of this game early, buy back in for MOUZ, who have very much felt the tune change in this matchup. They were made aware of it early on. They were liberal with attack pauses here to try and course correct. But if they don't stick the landing in this rifle round, suddenly 3D Max are the ones in the driver's seat, really taking that pole position.
Oh, Toshi's rotate, though. He goes heaven. Ramp is the gap. There's only one player here. We've said Jimmy is a rock. He is dependable in this position. He's got to prove it again. Headshot falls off or rotates in, but Toshi blinded, gives it up after a single shot. A swing and a miss. Brolin holding A. Lurker gets nothing done, and 3D Max go back into Jimpat.
That's the two top performers dropped out of the round here. This first rifle round for MOUZ. Explosive. Jimmy run through, and Shui quick down lower there to support him.
That's what we wanted to see from Jimpat. 3 kills, well anchored, gets his kill, gets out, able to play off his team and still find success as an individual. 3 kills from the young Finn. It's a Hail Mary from 3D Max, but they can go back to something else. Continue with this outside control. I do like how decisive that rotation was for Toshi. Not overcommitting to the outside. Does it again. Back up heaven, scoped in hard, expecting the A play. For good reason.
I mean, 3D Max stunned with their run through the Armada, make it to the elimination stage. getting here, skipping the opening portion. That's the work they've put in at other events across their year. This is where the hard work was hoping to pay off.
It's a good angle for exertion on lower health, playing a headshot position. Down in secret, 3D Max going to late cross. They could throw smokes on the fly, very common. Or maybe they just want to contact the whole way. If they do, Torshi has a shot. You can't sneak through this angle and expect to survive. They run instead. Torshi lets him go. Second one, he's got all the info. Too quick to pull the trigger, but just enough for exertion to poke his head back up. Torshi missed shot.
All right, awkward miss. With each shot, they get ever closer, falling back into the spawn. Torshi, power position on this AWP.
There we go.
For a little bit more. Torshi nails every single shot. First two sailed past 3D Max, but the next three strike him down.
If anything, him not firing on that cross on those very quick pixel swings for 3D Max invites him into his position. Maybe they feel like the AWP isn't there, and they're so dug in. Despite trading out exertion, Torshi hits some beautiful re-peaks, and MOUZ re-peak back to first place, 9-8.
I mean, from 06 down, 3D Max already did something miraculous in finding themselves in the lead.
Uh-oh.
But it might all be for naught. As it's them now with the broken money, a hero gun entrusted onto Maka. The captain takes it out into the yard and goes blow for blow with exertion down here, but he's not the only threat to worry about. As you scale up, you're going to have to contest with Brolin in main. You have to worry about this AWP back in the spawn. There's nothing open to 3D Max. There are no fortunes to be found out in the yard, so instead they look elsewhere. Leaving Joko.
Yeah, they know about him.
Leaving him behind as they set their sights on the ramp room. Jimmy was stalwart in the hold last time. Spotted on that jiggle, but he doesn't concede the angle. He's got Torshi's AWP even moved over to lend a helping hand. And every turn they've tried to give Maka the chance to get involved on this hero gun. There's the swing, and it's come up short. Now low, now wounded. Joko still closing the gap onto this hot player. Torshi's going to get backstabbed. Joko finally rewarded for his patience. He waited all round for that chance to strike. Now the AWP picked up, but into Shui. Mauls them! A round that could have spiraled out of control. Shui remains composed.
Waterfall of blood. As 3D Max just get shredded. It was only Glock armor, or Glock no armor, AK-1 armor, and Torshi gets rid of that with ease, so 3D Max can forget about it, can move forward, but they are running out of room, running out of rounds.
Even that hero gun, though, you wanted so much more out of that round. You really needed a bomb plant at least to make it feel worth it, because look at this, right? Up against an 8-10 scoreline, the threat of MOUZ approaching that finish line. You've got two players running Mac 10 or Galil. You're limited in terms of the util. That's going to affect the calls available to Maka here down the stretch. You couldn't even consider going for something like a top site rush here. You don't really have the util to do it.
No.
Out in the yard, you can throw up the wall of smokes, but MOUZ have already shown a tendency to break those open, and so sometimes you've required the double volley of smokes outside. Already 3 sets of util lobbed out to the yard. That's almost all your utility in this round. And it gets denied early. Gravity picked up by Torshi's AWP.
We saw what happened last time, but they went round, but Jimmy's committed in this angle. He gets a lot of damage, and he even gets out. Doesn't take a single bullet. Full nades. 3D Max wanted to take outside and then pop ramp, but with Torshi finding that pick, with early damage done, they've had to swap guns, they've had to regroup and reset. This is just mid-rounding now. And it's desperation. A sign of MOUZ erupting right at the end of Nuke.
A kill teed up, put on a silver platter from Brolin. Nade softens him up. Brolin still finding success, dropping down now onto the AK. They start to try and pressure him, and they will get past Brolin. But there's rotates in. Torshi flies up the vent, leaving it all on Lucky, the veteran player for 3D Max, the one who did so much for them on this RMR run. In the game-defining round, can't find anything in the clutch. Money now broken for the French squad, and MOUZ building towards that finish.
It's been a perfect storm for MOUZ. Every single player with their impact in this game across both maps, but even more so here on Nuke. Torshi rock solid ever since that CTA WP. Rampa no-go. Brolin makes it look easy. And Shui's put on some phenomenal shots as well. Exertion has had all of Yard in every one of these rounds. When Torshi's not here, he again crosses Secret immediately. There is no way in for 3D Max. There is certainly no way out. Exertion is pushing the perimeter right now as a top site. Exit gets set up. Exertion. Oh dear, I have a bad feeling. Exercise, watch him turn away. Yep, there it goes. Exertion can see that top site util come on in. He's got the info right now. He's even got the kill.
You've just lost most of the util for this top site here. On the back of that, Gravity and Joko doing what they can in the dying moments of this game. But because of the info, Jimmy's already here. Jimmy holds the line. The finish wall puts a stop to the Frenchman's run into the top site. And it's just Maka. 45 seconds left as he is trapped in a literal corner, mirroring the metaphorical corner that MOUZ have painted 3D Max into. No more room, no more chances. This has to be where 3D Max find their success on this T side, or else it's all over, and their dream run at this major comes to an abrupt close.
Yeah, even if that's where we're going, this has been an admirable run for 3D Max. They've come through when little expected of them, made it to their first major as a 5, Lucky's first return in 5 years, and they have put themselves in all of our eyes, taking down Eternal Fire, dropping G2 in a BO3. But is MOUZ too hot to handle?
Gravity doing everything he can to try keep this going. Joko there alongside him. Two kills found out in the yard as 3D Max get looser. They want to go out on their terms. They played an explosive, loose game across this series. And I'm glad this is the round they give us. They don't sit scared, they don't sit quiet. And that finds them even one more round of play at the major.
That really did just look like the call of just go, guys, just get out there, get stuck in, take your fights, dropping smokes, go silo, and everyone finding a headshot, everyone getting involved. 3D Max fighting for survival. MOUZ. A major that was meant to be, and still one final BO3 if they can close here on Nuke. Tomorrow is what counts. Today is just a prerequisite to get them there.
3D Max stunned everyone by turning this 0-6 start into something that looked recoverable. If that was the beginning of their second wind, if they are able to have that final push to try and take this into OT, that does change the nature of this game somewhat. But they've got a real uphill battle to get there. 2 more full rifle rounds to break through for 3D Max.
Still such a big if. MOUZ have, without a doubt, been the better team once the guns have come out on this CT side, and this time they don't lean into the fights, they pull back.
The limit test for Gravity.
He's got so far through these smokes. He's thread the needle.
Just how far can Gravity push this? That kill collected for free, but it's Jimmy. You might think ramp's open now. Torshi started here right at the beginning of this round. They have no clue that this AWP lies in the ramp room. They don't know about Torshi. Strikes, gets himself out of there. Support now from Exertion. Gravity's flank was meant to open this round up. It's fed 2 into that AWP.
Oh,
Exertion! Dropping in! Eventually silenced! Exercise leaves MOUZ exerted! And Torshi can't win this 1v3! 3D Max nearly walking into a trap of their own making, but they dodge it fast enough. They keep offering up these pockets of resistance, and they are refusing to go down without a fight.
No way they take the AWP at the end. One shot, he's unscoped. But a missed chance. Torshi, he needs this AWP. They've got nothing in the next without it.
Painted himself into a corner here. Torshi, they're walking his way. They want this AWP removed. It's the only thing that MOUZ were going to have. And no longer 3D Max. This next round is meant to be the easy one. They've broken apart the big bank accounts of MOUZ. This should come down to a one-round game.
Yeah. Oh, that's a disaster for Exertion. I mean, he had the round in the palm of his hand. That kill backside would have won the A side for MOUZ. Would have meant the 3D Max couldn't run in for free. But he thinks he's finished his meal. And falls in with a pistol.
Fast ramp explode, 2 players here on the pistols.
Oh,
awkward opener,
careful.
Jimmy finds that.
Careful.
You don't want to go down to the eco. Lucky and Exercise. Quick trigger work with the trades. They're ready for the lobby re-aggro. Maka staying around to fight this. He's got the bomb. Maka has the bomb. The rest of his team have taken ramp in the yard. It's only USPs. You shouldn't be worried, but there's one kill found as they try to retrieve that gun. Lucky springs to life for the trade. And so crisis averted, lobby crunch denied. 3D Max, it all comes down to this.
Yeah, whatever happens here, they've gone down fighting. And they want to fight their way into overtime. Exertion is simply just playing for an exit, playing for an upgrade, trying to give himself the best odds available for the last round of regulation. That one-round game you mentioned, we are right there.
I mean, you know, across their RMR run, it was these hulking individual efforts that really stood out for 3D Max, most notably Lucky having some phenomenal games for his return to the major stage. But now here in this high pressure moment where the veterans are the ones that are supposed to carry you through, it's actually Gravity trying to be the guy to uplift them. He's had some phenomenal rounds. He got that deep lurk all the way through into hell before anyone saw him. He's playing with real confidence, and that's not an easy thing to do when you're playing from the back foot. Sure, you're the one streaking these rounds together, but it would feel so easy, almost comfortable, to tighten up, to become more rigid, to slow down and play with nerves.
It feels like MOUZ are dealing with some stress right now.
I mean, you've brought this all the way back to a 24-round game and a chance for overtime. And that's with a streak of 6 in there and a streak of 5 for the MOUZ squad. You know, these weren't back and forth, tightly contested rounds. These were sweeping victories for MOUZ, and 3D Max have been resilient in spite of that.
MOUZ have not bought a kit here. Sure, their money wasn't perfect. They just have to feel what they could, but I think it would have been worth it right now. As 3D Max, do they want to go out with a bang on this top site? It's a lurk through mini. It's Torshi with a blind shot, and they explode into A.
Gravity only one on the opener. Top fragger falls. And now they try to test Jimmy in at the ramp room.
Oh,
support is on the way. 3D Max might have had their second wind. But this final push, this final round, has remained firmly out of grasp. That's the kill that had to come through. That's the kill that could have tipped the scales, opened up the top side play. But Brolin has been allowed a second chance. Much like his story moving into this MOUZ squad, he thrives when given a second chance. The one that got away might be the one that puts this all to rest. Brolin backed into a corner, but that's where the claws come out. Maka will find him. Bomb just a little too deep. Maka's dropped in, and MOUZ shut them out the full 24 rounds. MOUZ come back swinging in round 24. And for 3D Max, they went out on their terms. They played their game, but they will fall here in the elimination stage. A sour note